What's up guys, Pippi here, and welcome to another episode of the Trophy Cabinet. Today's tournament is the For America's Cup, and the requirements for this tournament were to have at least 5 players in your starting 11 from Argentina or the United States, and Chile and Colombia. And the tournament requirements really confused me at first because I'm like, what do you have to have in here? And it ended up being you had to have at least 5 players from Argentina or USA in the starting 11 and 5 from either Chile or Colombia. So I just went with Argentina and Colombia because I feel like they have the best players in the game. And we came up with a pretty nice team. And speaking of nice teams, our opponent also had a very nice team. As you saw right there, he had Valderrama, the legend card. Despite him not costing too much this year, he's actually one of my favorite legends I've played with. Not that I've played with too many really, but he's very underrated, I feel, because when I had him in my main account, he actually played pretty amazing, and I definitely recommend him, and he's not that expensive, so definitely try Valderrama out if you want a legend cam for some reason. And we would get the first goal of the game over here, a very early goal. Great cross from Dybala to Aguero, and Aguero with a nice little header puts it into the back of the net, gives us the early lead. However, the celebrations would be short-lived because over here Otamendi loses the ball to Tevez. It ends up in the feet of Valderrama, who sees Aguero through on goal, and nobody was marking Aguero. When he's alone with the keeper, he's almost always going to score. So our opponent equalizes literally seconds after we score, and it's back level, this time at 1-1. And in the 19th minute, we would try to create a chance over here. However, Zabaleta does lose the ball. Like, once again, our defenders losing the ball to Tevez. It ends up in Dybala. A great turn by him, and an amazing finish on his left foot makes it 2-1. So now we're down. And I honestly don't know how Tevez keeps stealing the ball away from my defense, but we have to stop doing that because we will suffer more goals if we don't get it together. And over here, we would create a chance at an equalizer over here. Aguero threw on goal. However, Czech comes up big with a huge save to keep his team on top. And in the 34th minute, not too long after that Aguero chance, we would try to create another chance over here. We get a free kick. However, our defenders once again losing it to one of his attackers, ends up in Dybala's feet, gives it to Aguero, and somehow we managed not to concede right there. A little bit of a strange play right there. It doesn't end up in the back of net. So we're still down 2-1, looking to somehow get back into it, but things were just not looking good for us. Over here in the 39th minute, he plays the ball to Aguero once again. Aguero to Dybala, and Dybala makes it 3-1. So his second goal for Dybala, and that trio of Valderrama, Aguero, and Dybala are causing all sorts of trouble for us. So we need to change something if we want to somehow get back into this game, and that's what we would try to do at halftime. We're down 3-1. We're not playing great. Our opponent is creating better chances than us, and the few chances we've had, we really haven't exactly scored them. So it was time for a change. We go ahead, take off Dybala for Neymar, which isn't something I would normally do, but when the options are Dybala or Aguero, I'm always going to keep Aguero in there. So we bring on Neymar, and what do you know, right off a kickoff, Aguero goes on a run, gives it to Neymar, and Neymar makes his mark just seconds into the second half. What a start for Neymar. Gets us a very crucial goal that makes it 3-2, and with that, we're only down by 1. We have the momentum, and we can get back into this game. We just have to play better than we did in the first half. And in the 53rd minute, Neymar again, he's at full fitness, he's going on an amazing run, great burst of pace over here down the right hand side, cuts inside, gives it to Marquisio backheels it to Neymar to Carlos Sanchez, who's not really done anything all game, and he ends up losing the ball. However, he does win possession back, gives it to Aguero, and Aguero at the near post makes it 3-3. What a game so far. Aguero scoring, Dybala scoring, Neymar scoring, a bunch of players scoring, 6 goals so far, and there's still plenty of time left for more goals. And in the 57th minute, not too long after our goal, our opponent would have a chance over here. Carlitos Tevez gives it to Pereira. Pereira gives it to Valderrama, and Valderrama is brought down in the box. The ref calls a penalty, and that was a little bit of a strange call. I kind of thought it wasn't a penalty, but I looked at it on the replay, and it was definitely a penalty. So a little bit frustrating that we do the comeback and then we concede from a penalty, and once again we are in a hole, losing again. and it's going to be quite the struggle to get a fourth goal. But if we've scored 3, we can definitely score a fourth. And over here in the 64th minute, he would try to go in the attack with Valderrama. However, Sanchez does read it pretty well. We defend it well. We go on the counterattack. Guarín to Aguero. Aguero cuts inside, gives it back to Guarín. Guarín has a shot, and he makes his mark. Gets us the equalizing goal once again. It's 4-4. What a game. And Guarín, who really didn't do much throughout the whole game, comes up big with a very good goal right there. And once again, it was time for a change. This time we would try to change something up in the defense. We take off Zapata for Pepe, because if you guys didn't know, you could have had anybody you wanted in the bench, which is just one of the biggest things that really do my head in about these tournaments, that EA don't know how to make a good tournament with decent requirements and a decent prize. But whatever, I've said that a million times, and I don't think it's going to change. And over here, we would go to extra time, because not much happened, surprisingly, after the 60th minute. And we would go to extra time, and in the 91st minute over here, Aguero would create the first chance of the extra time half. He doesn't score, however, it does end up bouncing to Neymar right there, and it goes in the back of the net. So a little bit of an AZ goal right there, but to be honest, Aguero really should have scored first time. So that was just one of those situations that EA gave our opponent the false hope that he was safe once Aguero missed, but it still gave it to Neymar, and we scored. So this time we're on top 5-4. We were trying to make it 6-4, and what do you know? Michael Jackson from the Jackson 5 goes ahead, makes it 6. And at this point, I'm thinking we could win this game. We have a 2-goal cushion. We just have to play the rest of the half and then the second half, and we can win this game. So we have the 6-4 lead, the biggest margin of a lead that we've had so far this game. And from kickoff, Aguero just goes on an amazing run, and he shoots it wide. I really feel like he deserved the goal for that run. That was crazy. He got like past 4 or 5 guys or something nuts like that. And not too long after that chance, he would actually have another chance over here. Pereira gives it to Marquisio. Marquisio gives it to Aguero. Aguero has a shot from distance, but Czech with an amazing save. So 2 great chances in the matter of seconds for Aguero, and he is unfortunate not to get a goal right there. And in the 110th minute, our opponent would try to go in the attack. However, Otamendi defends it well. Sanchez to Aguero. Aguero makes sure he scores this time around. 3rd time's a charm, finds the back of the net, makes it 7-4, and with that, we are going to be crowned winners of this tournament, because it is a 3-goal cushion with only 10 minutes left. However, in the 115th minute, our opponent will try to look for a consolation goal over here. Otamendi, though, plays it wide to Pereira. Aguero loses possession, though. Valderrama has it, gives it to Aguero. Aguero to Nainggolan. Nainggolan gives a terrible pass, but it still ends up in the feet of Tevez, who gets himself a goal. And Tevez was on it this game. Like, I'm surprised how well he played. Usually when I play with Tevez, he's not that great, but for our opponent, he played pretty amazingly. Yeah, but in the 120th minute, one last chance for our opponent to make it just one goal that he loses by. However, it does hit the post right there, and after that, the ref would blow for full time. So a 12-goal thriller. We somehow win that game 7-5. One of the craziest finals I've played. Pretty hard one too, and that was an interesting tournament run, because I don't usually play with Colombian players really. So that was kind of interesting, and we go ahead, are crowned winners of the For Americas Cup. We get ourselves a couple of coins. We also get ourselves another trophy for the cabinet, and that is going to conclude this episode of the Trophy Cabinet, guys. This has been the For Americas Cup. My name is Pippi Deed, and I'm out.